Alright, hey guys. The video you're going to see is, I'm pretty sure I'll mention it a couple times. It's the yellow car that I actually did the SXT to the srt4 conversion on. This is after it's been through, it's actually now on its third owner after it had left my care. The best way to say it is, I don't know, it wasn't cared for quite the best. The now owner purchased it, and well, the transmission went bad right away. A few other things were bad just because of not being serviced. So he needed a tranny, so I helped him out, and he was having some problems with it, getting it installed, and made some mistakes. So I took it upon myself to help him out, and I got the tranny in. He came down to help out the one day. Actually dropped off a brand new brand new ACT clutch we installed into it to replace the one that was bad. We did put a like new OEM fork in there, so he'll be good for that for a while. Anything that I'm pointing out is not to say anything bad about any of the owners or any of the work that was done. Anything that I'm pointing out was basically stuff that was done incorrectly, and that's the only reason why I was pointing them out. So it's not directed at anybody. If you have any questions on fixing anything, let me know. You can comment. That's kind of half the reason why I make these videos. I help out a lot of people that get these cars and they are in some sad shape because people did not know what they were doing when they were repairing stuff, or they lost bolts and they cross-threaded things, or, you know, the car was just, you know, damaged when they got it. They just don't know how to repair it because they never had to repair anything. Questions, ask. That's why I make the videos. All right, guys. Hopefully this wasn't too long and you enjoy it. All right, well, it's kind of a sad day. This was a car that was on my channel. This was one of the first ones that I did a full SXT to srt4 conversion on, which I'll link them in. This was a yellow car. Every nut, bolt, interior panel, you know, everything to spec this thing out to be 100% srt4 is on this car. So about 3 years ago, someone I knew inquired about wanting to get it, and then something happened and something fell through. So then a friend of mine ended up needing a car, which we did a clutch install video of this car. He was installing the ACT clutch. That's also in there. Now, he decided he wanted a different car, and he had sold it to somebody else, and well, another person ended up owning it now, and he purchased this car like this, and he drove it very little, and the transmission actually locked up. So amongst the previous owner before him doing absolutely no service to this vehicle, they thought it appropriate to spray can the car red. So I'm just gonna, I'll give you a quick walk around and I'll show you that. The now owner was attempting an install on the transmission, and he had some problems, so I offered to help him out because I answer a bunch of questions. I mean, here we are. So I'm just going to do a quick walk around and show you the condition of the car now, what we have to straighten out to try to get this thing to the point where it's actually safe to be on the road. Make a list of stuff that needs to be done for it to be safe to be on the road, along with helping out the new owner. So here we go. Let's do this walk around. So right here you can see tires are bad, missing an inner wheel well now. You know, spray paint across everything. I don't know what the deal was with this. You know, I mean, there's what was on here when we oil or something, when we decided we wanted to spray paint that. I mean, you know, the car needed a little bit. You know, this car wasn't bad. You know, it had a dent here and it had some dents in the lower rockers, but you know, overall this car was quite straight. You know, it didn't have any damage. It had no reason to be spray painted over these taillights. You know, I actually sold them to the 3 owners back. We installed those. Those things were perfect. I mean, what possesses someone to destroy a car to this point? More runs up through here. You know, I mean, that's the... Child? Was the guy a child? I mean, I don't know. I never met the guy. You know, we spray painted, you know, even the center caps, you know. I mean, I could understand if you wanted to get rid of this, you know, yellow stripe that was on the outer edge of these wheels, you know, to an extent. But to go through and spray paint the entire wheel and the calibers and, I mean, just, you know, over the headlights, over the hood. I mean, this is the intensity of stupid here. Look at this. Over the door panels, over the molding on the door, everything. I mean, you know, how much do you need to ruin a car? So, you know, maybe this is a little bit of agitation to see something that, you know, you put together that had great prospects to, you know, actually make it so someone had the ability to actually enjoy the srt4 platform. But the thing now is, so many of these cars have this done to them. Right here. They do this. They cut up the wiring. They attempt to fix stuff and cause leaks and continuously drive stuff and damage stuff. You know, no blame is placed on the current owner at all. He bought this car this way, as do a lot of you guys, thinking you're getting a cheap buy, but you know, there's a lot of stuff that's messed up on this. So, I mean, I got to go through here. This is run the wrong way. You know, we got bad bushings here. You know, I started laying underneath here the other day. We got really... This is leaking bad. I don't know what happened to any of these bolts because they're all replaced. I don't know what was going on over here with this ball joint. I got to double check all that stuff and make sure it's safe. I don't know. It looks like we got black electrical tape wrapped around the exhaust back here. I don't know what or who did that. You know, it's missing this bracket up here. You know, guys take stuff apart. You gotta, it's not like it's that many bolts to be able to put stuff back together. On top of that, I have videos on how to install this stuff. I don't have any questions answering, or any problems answering any questions when people are doing these installs or taking stuff apart, or they need bolts or parts. I try to help out anybody when it comes to this, but you know, certain things, man, it just, you know, I don't know. I mean, this is just utter amazement. So we have to pull this apart. I wish I gotta grab this light. What happened was, I asked the owner, let me grab this out of the brakes. I don't know what was going on there. That brake line is all bent. Now, try to get this. See the location of that clutch fork, right? Now, what happened was the bearing fell off. It actually has the spring on the clutch slightly depressed. All right. Now, this is a big no-no. Anytime you put any transmission in, before you do not tighten it down with the bolts. You do not use the bolts to pull it together. If you get it in and you get it aligned, you can put the bolts in and get them started, but you do not tighten down your bolts until the transmission is tight against the engine. All right. If you do this in an automatic car, it's because the torque converter fell out, and if you do that, you will damage the pump inside the transmission and ruin it. This here, hopefully there's no damage to the clutch itself. Like I said, I won't know till I pull it apart. You know, it could have the disc. It could have damage to the clutch disc. You know, that's another thing you don't know till you get in there. We're going to work on getting this thing tore apart. We got to pull our wheels, drain our trans, pull our axles. We're going to start unbolting everything on top. For this one, as much stuff is messed up, I'm actually pulling the intake. You can pull just the throttle body, but I want to make sure everything's done correctly and go over everything. And a little $7 or $8 gasket is not a problem and worth making sure that stuff is done correctly. So, I mean, I'm not sure what's going on here, if that's leaking out around the seal, so we got to double check that. I mean, it's just, you know, I don't think this oil's been, honestly, I'm 90% positive that I probably did the last oil change on this for 3 owners ago. I just, you know, and I'm sure it was done here because he was a friend. So we're going to dig into this and hopefully not find anything else that is damaged more. I did start getting out some parts. So this thing was missing this, and it was missing the, we're going to install new bushings, you know, used to new bushings, ones that aren't damaged. I did notice that the cables are actually twisted up, so that would have caused a shifting issue. And we'll get this thing reassembled correctly here for this. Okay, I just want to see if you can pick out what is wrong with this picture. I just started unbolting this and looked up and seen this. This is something you want to make sure you don't do. Make sure your brake hoses are not twisted. Okay? See how easy that was? You could kill yourself doing something like that, driving the car. And then on top of that, this is the second time I've seen this. When you take the starter apart, you don't take off this lower one. It does nothing. You take off the top one. So I don't even know where the nuts are to go back on this, because that's still something we gotta find. But we got this side off. Right now, I got the axles undone. I'm gonna pop this axle out of the spindle. Basically all I do is I just knock these out and then I turn it to the side, and it gives you plenty of room to remove it. Then I'm going to be down to getting underneath. I got to get a clean container. Hopefully there's the new transmission fluid is in this that was included with the transmission. And then I think I'm down to undoing the cable bracket, which it's kind of hard to see. I wanted to show you this. You can see these lines come flat back through, and then they're twisted back there. So yeah, that's not something you want to have. You don't want to have any twist in your cables. That will cause you shifting problems 100%. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get this tranny drained and then get these axles pulled. There's our bad bushing. One for the garbage. That's what it's supposed to look like. I don't know how you... I mean, I guess wear time does that. Alright, well, we got this axle out, and I was looking in here to see what needs to be done next. And we have an incorrect bolt. One of two only holding this axle in. So I'm sure that probably the bracket probably is stripped out now. So we're going to probably end up replacing that bracket back there also. Now, just like with a couple of the other ones that had the wrong bolts in, there's strip threads in the transmission itself now. There we go. Here is the starter. Starter threads right there, shot. The ones down on the bottom are shot. We'll have to see if this here on the block is bad. The lower axle bracket is messed up. This has replacement bolts here going into the transmission. So I'm curious to see how stripped out they are in the case. So that's our next step. All right, well, I figure best to get getting this one here out on camera to see how bad it's damaged. Well, I think that one is actually the ball joint bolt. That holds the lower ball joint in. That's supposed to be in that axle over there. But, yeah, look at how... they ran it in farther than there's threads. So I'm sure, look at how you can see little pieces of threads. So the threads in the block are probably need retapped. So putting a jack underneath this, I'm going to support it. Then I'm going to remove this bracket here and the transmission mount so that I can get the chain onto this transmission and get ready to remove it from the car. So that's the point I'm at now. I'm going to get my jack, a block of wood to put underneath the oil pan because that's what you need to do. I have everything undone underneath. Shifter cables. I removed the other bolts that were incorrect. The axles are now removed. The transmission is drained. And we are at the point of, like I said, getting this transmission mount and bracket out of the way. Check this out. Somehow, we got the bolt busted off the bracket, so it's spinning. All right, you're on the tripod, so if you hear some noise, we got our chain here. I got the correct factory bolt. I have it tightened down in there like I normally do. I have the chain, has some tension on it. The motor is supported. I have one bolt here and one on that side, and we're going to pull this apart and see with what, I guess cross our fingers and hope that there's no damage to the clutch. And we can actually then see everything that needs to be repaired so that this can be installed properly. Wow, the transmission actually pushed itself away. We've got metal shavings on this bolt here too. So here we go. Right, now we are now out of that. So we can let this can come down some. All right, got that supported. Now we're going to lower down the transmission. I'll pulling it away a little bit. All right, here we go. Oh, caught on that one little bolt there in the back. Okay. Like I said, this is never fun. These are really tight. Okay, make sure that we're clearing our power steering lines. Okay, that looks good. Down to the ground. There we go. So we now got that down and out of the way. So now we can actually get down in here. I'm going to pull the camera off, get the light. We're going to inspect what we got going on and see what is actually damaged and see if we can fix some stuff and retap some threads. And like I said, we might end up having to have some stuff fixed. So let's check this stuff out.